boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, we're 4 minutes late. I hear someone laughing, and I hear echo, echo, echo.
Yeah, Amber, you're going to have to turn off your microphone when you're not speaking because it's echoing.
Echo, no good. No good.
Hey, Drax.
Hold on. Let me get my thing on. Hello, everybody. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy.
He just teleported himself on his phone.
Okay, here we go.
That's really Drax.
I had to teleport away to get an overview. Sometimes.
Yeah, you're no horticulturalist. Stay out of the plants.
I'm back.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything.
Hello. So we have Seraphine. Hello, Seraphine. Welcome.
Hi, Seraphine.
We have Amr and Darling.
Hello.
And Ryan and Ricardos is wearing the same T-shirt. Hello. I had some audio problems. I just taped a podcast where people were talking about the superiority of high fidelity.
Really?
Any comments?
Oh, is this
yeah.
the second part of the War of the Social Worlds?
It's the third part.
Definitely a comment. I was getting some alt spacers on, so.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully, Cats is on this stream out there. Hopefully, Cats scream out, shout out. So yeah.
So what is Altspace? Is Altspace any good?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
People are terrible.
I really think it's terrible.
I think I never got an account on.
Actually, people say that there's a lot of trolling in there. Amr?
No, I went there like 3 times. The people there are nice.
Yeah.
But the platform is not open enough since it is built over Unity, and they are not allowing any all the scripts that comes with Unity to run on their platform. They must,
really?
Yeah, they must review it in source and then allow it to run.
I think they have a lot of work on. Microsoft is. It's a good thing that Microsoft has very deep pockets and a lot of money, because they're going to have to throw a lot of money at Altspace to make it look anything as good as High Fidelity or Sansar, in my opinion.
But that isn't the point. The point of Altspace isn't about to make it look good. The point of Altspace is to make it simplistic, to make it simple, to make it approachable. Altspace works because a large percentage of people in these kind of platforms do not care about having a really good avatar and having beautiful houses and all that kind of stuff. They want to have a good conversation with friends. They want to get into a platform that basically runs on almost anything. And
Good point.
That isn't a big deal.
Here's Galen. Darling, sorry, I don't want to interrupt because I actually agree with that, and Altspace got a lot of funding even before they went down, and then Microsoft bought them, and it always, from looking at it from the outside, it always seemed to me that they were going after a market of kind of, what they were selling is you can be in the front row of kind of an event or performance of a celebrity. That's why they were highlighting, with Reggie Watts, who is a fabulous musician, and Bill Nye was there, I think, and so these kind of things, rather than sort of you can build your own worlds and then share them. The verdict is out if that is the winning strategy to become the supreme leader.
But you can, a lot of time in Altspace is spent just watching YouTube videos together and playing Cards Against Humanity. You wouldn't believe how many hours I have in just sitting with friends and playing Cards Against Humanity. It's really fun. And
there's nothing wrong with sort of it's like Facebook Spaces as well, which I really kind of abandoned after 2 minutes because don't
get me started on Facebook Spaces.
Isn't this fascinating though? Because Facebook has
talk about another company with deep pockets that has no idea what to do with virtual reality.
But Ryan, you just completely you contradicted yourself. You said thank God that Microsoft has deep pockets because they're going to do something. From my vantage point, it's not a foregone conclusion if you have money that you have brains or a clue what people want or, there we are.
Microsoft has a habit of throwing money at things and having them fail miserably in spite of the money.
So anyway, let's... Okay, I wanna go somewhere and visit things and Amr, and I forgot your Seraphine, who is new to our group. That's fantastic. Let's go. Where are we actually going? So yeah. I wanted to go to the Minimalist Museum.
That's really cool.
I think it's really cool. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube and you don't know what is going on, the funny thing is on the YouTube stream, every time, like 5 minutes into the stream, and I don't have that many subscribers compared to big streamers, but there's always somebody who's like, what game is this? What game? and
exactly.
The pop-up from YouTube is Sansar is not listed, so I'm forced to put in Second Life, and then people of course go, whoa, Second Life, wow, Second Life, I remember when it was looking like shit. So that's of course funny. So,
welcome.
Let's put the...
Okay, so we're going to minimalism
Minimalist,
first?
Yeah, let's...
You drop the line.
Okay,
I have it here.
Posted the URL.
I post, yeah. And Amr, you are from. I want to ask you where you're
Egypt.
from. You're from Egypt.
From Egypt.
That's amazing.
Oh, that is so cool.
I have so fond memories working with Ain Shams University, way back 2009 on a Second Life project.
This is when I joined Second Life, 2009.
Yeah.
But it is not me. I am not Amr Atiyah, the professor in Shams University.
I remember. Okay. Yeah, I know you sound different, but I was like, Amr is back, and he calls himself Amr, so that we don't. We think like he's hiding behind his own name, so we don't understand.
No. I am not him, but I am another Amr. Okay.
Well, it's great to have you. It's great to have
Thank you.
Have someone from Egypt, because I know also you have problems with the bandwidth. Is that still before we go somewhere?
No.
Because I'm curious. Is the bandwidth situation? How can you tell us what the infrastructure is? Is it pricey?
Okay. Let's say that the regime here is different. The system here is different. They prefer security over anything. So they are trying to clock voice over IP for commercial reasons and for security reasons. The infrastructure is, I got the maximum speed in Egypt, which is 16 megabits per second. This is the maximum speed. And I have problems in Second Life, let's say, with voice. They blocked Vevox like 2 years ago.
Oh my God! So they block it all the way. It doesn't even come up.
Yeah. So not only Second Life is a problematic in terms of voice now, but all the multiplayer games that uses Vevox services, and it is written in the Wikipedia page now. If you look under Vevox, that they blocked it, and we are struggling.
So it's mainly a control mechanism that you are being selectively blocked. I was in Turkey recently, and it was the first time I really saw when the internet is not free and when websites are blocked that you're accustomed to go to.
Yeah, since January 25. 2011, if you remember, there were a great uprising here in Tahrir Square, and toppled a long dictator who stayed over our chest for 30 years, destroying the whole country. Since then, the regime, which is an extension of the old one, is trying to prevent what happened in January 25 from happening again. since this revolution, or let's say uprising, happened over the internet, over Facebook and Twitter, before going to the streets, they are trying with their all might to monitor and block any gatherings that over the hyperspace that can develop and like an ice ball and go to the streets again.
This is crazy. They were saying to Mubarak when they knocked him off the throne, go like, see, you should have paid attention to the internet, because but now we gotta also crack down on it because we want to stay for 30 years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So this is what is happening here, and as I told you, we are struggling. The ones that has the skills and let's say financial ability to buy equipments and try to develop things and be creative. We are not in a healthy environment for that, but we are trying.
We have to really, when we do the podcast, I just want to remind listeners that the podcast is coming also from Sansar, and we'll have sit-down discussions, and we'll have long-form discussions also about political issues and how they tie in. We just talked a little bit about net neutrality in the United States and the threat that would be overturned. And so with Amer, I'm looking forward to. The reason why we're not doing the podcast yet is because we cannot sit in Sansa, which is ridiculous. And I built this wonderful studio downstairs, and so that's the only reason for the holdup. So yeah, but that's. I
think we should start working on this.
Yeah. Everybody's like, come on, we want to go to a museum. I don't care. It's my Atlas hopping. Oh, by the way, I was gonna say Strawberry is still. Strawberry is not with us.
Issues?
Yes. So it's all good, but she just needs some time. And Ari is joining us. Let's go to the Minimalist Museum.
Yeah.
It's in the chat by Safia Vesta. And I'll see you guys over there. And Gator is watching on the stream. Gator, you can meet us. Daisy. Oh, at the museum. Actually, I didn't check if there is music. Yeah, see, this is a problem. Oh, but the music is fairly low. And now I'm in the wonderful... Okay, now
Hi, Drax.
Hello, and I can't get back to Sansar. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. I'm
getting really laggy performance here for some reason.
It is laggy for me too. I'm gonna try to. I'm in the Oculus home screen, and I can't get out of the home screen.
It's also very, very dark.
That's funny. I got in here all right. I could never get into Harvest.
Can anybody help me how to get out of the Oculus home?
Does F1? Wait, I don't know the echoes. Try F1.
Can you minimize it?
It forces me to restart because it says audio change detected.
Don't restart.
We're going to restart. We'll wait for you.
Boy, it sure is dark here.
It's a lot darker if you're in desktop mode than if you're in VR mode.
Okay, so I'm in desktop. I'm like, wow, I can't see nothing.
Most of the time. But for me, it's the same.
Okay, I can't get out of the screen now. I see the... this is why the Oculus really sucks.
No, you
cannot get back.
You need to look my way. Let's stay on your side.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, and they create an interesting video effect if you're changing point of view.
We can see you as well. You just don't seem to be moving. You are actually there.
No, I know that I'm there, and I'm actually streaming from Sansar, but I cannot go to High Fidelity as my active High Fidelity because High Fidelity shows up in the list. It's ridiculous. Folks on YouTube, I'm so sorry.
Alright, cool.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, here I am. Wow, this looks amazing. And Daisy, you look fantastic with the green. Can you please post next to one of the green spheres?
I know. I like it. I like this green, I must say.
No, you need to stay on the other side. That effect is much nicer.
Wow.
It's obviously why I managed to get in here.
Galen, keep running around.
It likes me. It likes me in here. That's why it let me in.
Daisy, can you get into one of the spheres? Can you get inside?
Probably. There we go.
Oh, I can still see you, although it's all green.
Oh, wait.
Can you guys still communicate over the music? It's pretty okay. I mean, it's pretty
yeah, the music's not too loud.
It's pretty good. Ryan, are you running and singing to the music?
I don't know this dark place.
Test one.
Ori, we can hear you.
Genuinely like standing close to an alligator.
How are you, Ori?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Thanks for joining us. I love this place. Ricardos, are you saying this is too dark? I don't think so. Oh, here's Amr.
Ooh, what a place. It is amazing.
It's a museum dedicated to the art of minimalism, where the art itself is very minimalistic.
Yeah.
And the music is either probably Philip Glass or Terry Riley or Steve Reich.
Very nice.
This is a great, I think this is a great example of what Sansar could be. Yeah?
It's already in Sansar, which means it already is this way.
Oh, that is a good point. That is an important philosophical point. I was like, this is what Sansar could be. Darling says, well, it is what it already is. You're absolutely right. And you know what bugs me? Why do I always talk about stuff that bugs me? I don't know. It's my show and Strawberry's not here to censor me. Sansar has over 700 experiences made by users. And I'm in some of the major VR groups on Facebook with thousands and thousands of members. And nobody talks about this. And, you know, whatever you think of Sansar in its current state or what you think of High Fidelity, it's interesting that in the relevant virtual reality groups on these social networks, people don't talk about user-created worlds. And I don't know, there is a weird division between game developers and virtual worlds enthusiasts. And I think it has to do psychologically has to do with control. If I'm a game developer, I have control.
Yeah.
If I'm in a virtual world, then I'm just one of the others. I cannot control the user.
But you have a level of control over your experience.
Yeah.
The one you are developing.
Yes, but I think what I'm saying is that the game developers are used to having power over creative platforms. I mean, I've heard that, but this comes from experience in Second Life, where some game developers have real disdain for Second Life, and they would phrase it like, "Oh, I'm not going to waste my time with an inferior platform." But I think deeper down psychologically, it's about, oh, there are people actually having fun building their own thing. It's almost like the audio engineers' disdain for people who record their own demos on GarageBand or something.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Second Life is a success.
Yep.
So I think, yeah.
The one thing I'm amazed about is there seems to be a little bit of a divide in what people want out of these platforms, right? Like we were talking about AltSpace earlier, and there's a major, like a totally different way of seeing what they want out of it. Like a lot of the AltSpacers it's more important to hang out with their friends than the world around them.
But look what we're doing here, darling. We're in a museum and we're talking about, we're having a meta conversation about, which is a very interesting conversation, don't get me wrong. And here's Galen and he's going to chime in. But maybe we should look at the art and listen to the music. What do you think, Galen?
I have no idea what you guys were just talking about, but I'm kind of amused by the carnival music.
It's great. No, this is
this place is.
Let us.
This place is. Oh, is it? This place is cool. It does demonstrate a lot of interesting graphical techniques available in Sansar.
Let's give it 5 minutes of silence. I'm guilty of that primarily, because I want people to see this. This music is Philip Glass, yeah.
Do you keep staying here, Drex, or
what?
Do you stay here, or there's more to see?
I love this. I just want to absorb the atmosphere for a few more minutes if I can.
But there's more to see around the corner.
Oh, I know. We got stuck in a conversation. Wow. So this is minimalist art. So we can fill this with meaning. We can fill this art with meaning. I'm filling it with the meaning that I realize that Galen has the same jacket. Which
You've got my jacket. Take it off.
Come over the back. It's even better around the side here.
Oh yeah, okay.
All sorts of spinning things and what have you.
Oh Daisy, go here. Go under. Here we have the shadow. Oh, check this
I like
out.
all these. These are good.
Wow. Oh, this is spinning over your head now.
What's the cube? If you see the cube, Drex, what do you think?
One second.
Ricardos, you're dancing again. That's great because it fits with the music.
So they still not have fixed that bug. I cannot help it.
I like this. This is nice and green.
And it's a prim. It's a prim!
But what do you think when you see this?
When I see a prim?
No, when you see this cube.
I feel at home.
For me, the first thing for me, what I did say, it's a Second Life Griever cube.
Oh.
That's what it's triggering for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
If you have ever seen Griever in Second Life, you know what I mean.
So explain this to the viewers. So a Griever cube does what?
It's let's say it's spinning. It's multiplying on a sim. That's a Griever cube.
So
and sometimes it's making noise.
Like with particles or with other self-replicating items.
Yeah.
And so
like
you get real anxiety when you see this. You have trauma. You have flashbacks.
No, but that's what I get as ID in a memory.
Let's all hold hands and pray to the
I'm
prim.
still dancing again.
Wow, the music is perfect. Dear Almighty Prim, we pray to thee, Philip who created thee, who gave birth, Corey and Draca who abandoned thee for other pursuits. Thou shall be shamed.
I call it the addictive cube.
What?
The addictive cube.
The addictive cube. Daisy, please stand underneath the cube. We need to sacrifice an alligator. Well, that's what this new religion that I just came up with calls for. No, we're very
See, the cube has magic.
No.
Too nice.
Wait, Daisy, he or she who stands under the cube receives wisdom from our Lord Philip Rosedale. What wisdom are you receiving right now?
Goodness, I don't know. I don't know. The wisdom that everyone around here looks quite tasty.
Oh! Let's run! Let's run! No! Ah!
It seems that we will be the sacrifice.
Okay, let's walk over here, folks. Check this out. Wow. Wow, these trumpets. Bum, 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 bum. And the triplets on bum, 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 bum. Those are quarter note triplets. Bum, 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 bum. So I'm gonna do the eighth notes with my left hand, and I'm gonna do the quarter note triplets with my right hand. Watch me. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, now it's over.
Very nice.
God damn it! Why did I get this music degree? It's worth nothing. Let's keep going here. Oi! What is this? Whoa! Oh, this is amazing.
See the shadows? See the shadow?
Yeah.
That is an awesome shadow.
3 prims. It's the Holy Trinity.
A spider in the middle.
Exactly,
Yep.
Daisy.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a teacup.
This is
kettle.
Yes, but this is the Holy Trinity of prims.
I'm not going to look to the shadow.
It's the Father,
It's
the Son,
making me sick.
and the Holy Prim.
That would be the magical teapot. It has to have the teapot to finish it off. Right up there.
I don't understand the teapot reference, but maybe that's because I'm an atheist. Please elaborate.
It's a prim. The teapot is a prim among itself.
Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, this is amazing.
There's a whole history behind the teapot being one of the first render tests.
Was it in the form of a teapot?
Yes.
I only know the teapot from Blender. You mean the skull teapot?
See, I can't remember the exact story, but there's a great story on it.
I'm not sure if I've seen the teapot is from last one.
Part of the idea was that in the early days of 3D graphics, there were a lot of concepts that were worth testing. Like, for example, mirrored surfaces, and the topography of a teapot is complex enough to test out a lot of ideas in graphics.
Ah.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised though if it originates with Alice in Wonderland. Just a guess.
Well, the guy that came up with it actually got it because it was actually modeled after a teapot. I guess his wife bought him and used on their table. And he decided to make that as a...
Use in graphics probably goes back to the early 80s.
Oh yeah, I remember the Teapot, all the CAD programs.
This is something I need to investigate. The curse of a late birth prevented me from having this knowledge firsthand. I was born when Metallica came out with the Black Album. I don't even know, man. Oh, I'm lying. Okay, let's keep going. Come, children.
Says the man that aged the rest of us quite a bit.
I'm not ageist by any means.
The rest of us went, oh God.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm way older than this. This is a joke because I'm a big Metallica fan, and there was one video on YouTube about the Black Album, and then some kids were saying like, wow, this is the best Metallica album, and somebody said, wow, you never heard Master of Puppets? And the guy was like, what? They did an album before that? So, oops, we got feedback. Oh, feedback alert. Muting.
They really need a hotkey for that.
Boom. Ah! Wow. I need to go in there.
Something that's interesting to me is thinking about places like High Fidelity, and recently I visited VR Chat.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so interesting to me that the materials that are available here, even in this simple demonstration, are much richer than in those other places.
And I need to say, like, you know, my mantra is, of course, Galen, as you know, that what counts are the people, and that the visual fidelity is not that it's unimportant, but what really counts is community and experiencing this together, and having people having good tools that make it easy for people to realize their dreams. But having said that, something like this, I mean, this is amazing to me. I mean, I have not seen any of this in any of these other platforms. The type of art museum, or maybe it's just that Sansa maybe attracts people who would want to realize some. I'm talking specifically also about the content, about the theme. This is about minimalist geometric art paired with music from the minimalist period with Terry Riley, Steve Reich, and Philip Glass, and I don't know. I haven't seen that anywhere else.
Sansa is pretty easy to use.
My contention has been that, for whatever reason, you know, whether it's smart or not, Sansar has managed to attract a lot of real artists, professionals, people who make money as artists.
And it's easy to use.
Yeah, but when you go to places like Hi-Fi and VR Chat, from what little I've seen so far, there are lots of people. And there are lots of people who are interesting and creative, but they don't seem to be the same kind of hardcore artists that you see here.
I have to disagree with one thing. When you talk about professionals versus amateurs, I mean, my entire body of work is about trying to erase that to a certain extent, because I think Second Life has managed to turn people who have never been given that self-confidence that they can do something. They started to make things, and they express themselves. So they are, in the best sense of the word, an amateur or hobbyist. They came in and through the ease of use of the tools. Now,
yes, but practically speaking, let's use a very simple definition for professional. A professional is anyone who makes money doing what they do. I mean, they're doing it for the money, and a lot of people in Second Life are professionals by that definition. Even if they're not making lots of money, they're still making money doing what they do.
I disagree with that. I know what you're saying, and you're right that Sansar Linden Lab has attracted with Sansar a lot of from the professional class. That's why they have a plethora of experiences that, that is really super hype, super polished. We all know that. But first of all, in Second Life, there's thousands and thousands of people who don't make a dime, and they could care less. I reported on those guys for years now. For example, the artist community around the University of Western Australia, yeah, they give out prizes, but there's a whole slew of amazing immersive artists who just make it because they want to. The impetus is they want to express themselves. They don't make a dime, and that doesn't bother them at all. They don't have those aspirations at all. And with the Atlas hopping, I find it really important that we also go to places where people just make it because they want to share it.
Well, don't get me wrong, too. When I say professional, I am not, as a matter of exclusion, disparaging people who don't do it for money or for a living.
Oh yeah, that's not what I understood you saying. You're right.
I'm a hobby pro.
Right. I mean,
here's a hobbyist.
In my own way, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to distill down what seems to be different about these different places. What is it that makes one person or one place different? And it's hard otherwise. It's hard to explain to me.
You've done a very good job so far of trying to clarify the differences. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not meant to be disparaging, but
no, not at all. But Galen, I think it's very easy to actually differentiate that. It's exactly, and Linden Lab may not want to hear this, but you said the same thing. In many ways, Sansar is Second Life 2.0. It attracts similar people. Now, having again, with me primarily being sort of the on-the-ground documentarian in Second Life for over 10 years, what I came to the conclusion with, the mix in Second Life, there's people who, yes, want to make money, but there is a group of people, they have very high artistic aspirations within themselves. It's not that they want to be acknowledged by the world as the greatest artists, but they are drawn to tools that let them express themselves. And I believe that these people are attracted to Sansar more than they are to High Fidelity. Why that is, I don't know. Probably because of some of those visual aspects of the lighting and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
More easy build tools in Sansar.
Easy. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it isn't there yet.
It's just not there yet, is it? I mean, there's not loads of people in Sansar buying stuff, so people can just do whatever they want. Really, it's the commercial side simply isn't there. Simply because there's not enough people here.
When I say there are professionals here, I think somebody asked me this outright. There aren't people making money here. That's not happening yet. But there are people who are here with the expectation that they can and probably will eventually. That's more what I mean.
Eventually, that's right. But for now, you can just play, I guess. Just get the hang of how to build in here and how it all works. Until you really worry
Darling wants to say
making
something.
Money. I suspect that's really what's going on.
I think you missed the I am more what he's talking about, where I do this not for money at all. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I love creating things and bettering myself and making myself better and better each time I make something. I literally fill up my whole desktop with models I'm working on and worlds I'm working on, and I trash them. I have no opinion that I ever want to make money.
And that's cool. And again, I'm not disparaging the fact that there are pure artists. In fact, one of my true inspirations in Second Life from the early days was the creator of the famous Sparga sim. I'm sure a bunch of you have visited.
Yes, I've been there.
Maybe this
really a very creative person and really didn't do it for money.
Maybe this can bring us together. Maybe an understanding, right? There's a person in High Fidelity that inspires me, but I know that he's there for the money, right? There's a person that really inspires me, and it's Piper, right? He's a skilled modeler, but I love being around him and seeing what he makes because I aspire to be as good as him. Right.
I was very inspired by his scripting abilities when he was on the talent show at High Fidelity back in April. What he did was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm inspired by people. Just because you're a professional, I'm inspired of people better than I am. But
folks,
I have no illusions of making of grandeur and all that kind of stuff.
Darling,
right.
Darling,
you're running out of time here.
No. Everybody's making great points, but see now, even as a music major, the music is driving me nuts.
The music is driving me crazy. Can we go? Can we go to the next place, please?
Oh, I listen to that stuff all day long, but I'm not having conversation at the same time. Let's go.
Excuse me, I have to head out.
Oh, Seraphine, come to the soccer stadium for a few minutes. We're going to the...
I have to actually go.
Oh. I hit the button too fast. Seraphine, thanks for tagging along. Here we go.
Oh,
the quietness. Wonderful.
Boom. Oh, I can hear myself think.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing sometimes.
No, it's not.
Depending on your thoughts.
Yeah, I guess it does depend on what you're thinking.
So this is made by Jack the Ripper.
Too. I feel a little bad for kicking off that conversation kind of in that way, because I think it's very easy for someone to mistakenly think that I'm disparaging people who are feedback, who are what I would think of as sort of pure artists in Second Life or Sansar or High Fidelity or whatever, and that really is not my purpose.
Oh, Galen, trust me. Trust me. You didn't come across that way at all. You made a really good point. I'm actually glad you brought this up, and from listening to you, you did not come across that. The only thing that I wanted to add is that above what you said, what fascinates me, that also the type of content is different. But I haven't been in High Fidelity roaming around too much. You know, just like something like the museum, or we went to this Italian museum the other day, actually weeks ago, and so there is just a type of artistic expression that has to do with art and thinking a little bit deeper that is prevalent here. Not everything, but that is missing in these other platforms.
Maybe.
High Fidelity is missing. High Fidelity is missing build tools that are easy.
So that's why you think. Wait, Daisy,
that's why I stopped using it.
When I signed up, I got a creator, introduction beta or whatever it was called, and I had to sign a thing saying I was going to give the rights basically to everything I uploaded to Sansar. So, I mean, I guess no one's going to want to have uploaded stuff that
I think that's,
potentially
that was during the creator preview,
worth money. Yeah, although I guess a lot of people would have already sort of created their stuff, I guess, and maybe not want to create it all anew from scratch. So
I really think you shouldn't be afraid of that. I think that's a common misread of the license agreements and terms of service for places like this. If you read them more carefully, generally speaking, what they're trying to say is you don't have exclusive rights. That it's sort of like this. You give someone a copy of your book, and you give them the right to publish it, but that doesn't mean that you're giving them exclusive rights forever and giving up your rights. What it means is you're saying that they can use your books or your art or whatever in promotion, for example. Like if they take a snapshot of it and put it in a brochure, what they're saying is you can't sue them for using an image of your experience or something like that.
This is a tough, long discussion. I encourage everyone to watch the documentary about the power grab in the early aughts from these platforms. Let's play a little game. I don't want to don't want to suppress this discussion, but this is an important discussion and about rights. But the viewers want to see a soccer game.
Oh, like that's gonna happen.
I'm gonna be the goalie here, okay? So try to. So who's on my team?
Stuff in VR is just so much fun.
That's all I think, right?
Ah! Why can't I take this? Here we go. Ah! Oh, Darling is shooting a goal. Oh my God, she made it. Damn, damn. See? Darling is on the ball as we. Oh, ah!
Oh my God, this is so much fun.
Okay, what I'm gonna try, I'm gonna actually zoom out, not in VR, so the viewers have the overview.
Beware of flying men.
I don't think I'm very good at this. Oh dear.
Can you grab things, Daisy, in desktop? Whoa, Galen completely.
I do love on players though. That's.
Oops, and there we crashed. Great. Ah. Oh, Rockridge is watching. This is the actually, let me see. This is called the 5 A-side soccer stadium. I'm going back in. Search for soccer stadium. We're going to put the URLs into the YouTube description afterwards. Okay. This is really cool. I'm gonna get out of the goal and see if we can play a proper game. So this is made by Jack the Ripper. 5 A-side soccer stadium. So if I put soccer, there it is. So 5 A-side soccer stadium. Oh, everybody crashed. Everybody crashed because Galen pushed the
Well,
Oh, is that what happened?
I expected that this
I was
going
like,
to
what
happen.
happened?
No,
Oh,
I
here's
didn't know
Rockridge.
it
You're
was
with
gonna
us.
happen.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, can we try this? I'm going to zoom out. And actually, there's one ball. So let's do an actual game. How about Ricardo's and Rockridge are together and Ori and Amr are together? So Rockridge, you're on Ricardo's side. You have to shoot it into the blue goal. And Amr and Ori have to defend the blue goal, and you have to put it into the red one.
I am the wrong side.
Yeah. No, Ori's doing a good job. Ricardo's, you gotta run a little bit there.
That's not so easy.
Okay, I think Amr is still loading. So Ryan, you're with Ori. You're defending the blue goal. You have to put it into the red one.
Okay.
So Ryan is with Ori. There you go, Ryan. And I'm gonna comment the game.
Commentator.
And here is Ryan Schultz. He is behind the goal. Does he even know where left and right is? Who knows in 3D?
I don't.
And Rock, you gotta take it from Ryan. He's gonna put it in. Rock, you gotta take the ball. Rock is trying to take the ball, but Ricardo's is on the ball. Ricardo's. Here we go. Ricardo's is all alone, and Ricardo's is trying to get to the blue goal, but he's not. Here's the ball, and Galen comes in. Galen. Okay, Galen takes the ball in his hand. That is not supposed to. This is not how it works. And Galen kicks over the Minecraft dude. And Galen kills the Lego man. Okay.
Well, if he's gonna do it, so am I. Ouch! I just banged my hand on my computer.
Careful with the screen, Ryan. Ah, this is cool.
It all line up in front of the goal. So
okay, let's do one more try here. I'm gonna try to comment this. So, okay, Galen is in VR, right? No.
Hi, Constantine.
Everybody's in desktop except Ryan and Ricardo. So Ricardo's and Ryan should be on opposite sides.
We could go desktop against headset.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In desktop you can run better.
No, you can run too. Okay, let's do this then.
That would be
No, in VR it's much harder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
It is harder to run in VR.
Okay, then Ryan and Ricardo are together. But let's try this.
In
Galen,
all you have to do is double click.
Galen, stop it, or you're off the.
I thought you were supposed to kick the ball, not carry it.
Yes, Galen, you're going to be disqualified. No, so please. Okay, now Ryan and Ricardo's, please go to the red goal. Ryan and Ricardo's, please report to the red goal, and everybody else go to the blue goal.
You realize this is trying to herd cats. You know that, don't you?
Hmm?
This is like trying to herd cats. You realize that, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is nothing. I taught classrooms of 35 kids. So.
Are we going to a third? Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going to crash again.
Oh God, yeah. Did we crash? Oh, this is pretty eerie. Are we crashing? Hello? Uh-oh. Computer's making weird noises. No. This is an interesting parallel universe indeed. Okay, I'm going to try to go back to Harvest. Everything is sluggish. Ah, yeah, with these guys, you can't even play soccer. Let's see. Ah, my breathing is bad today. Getting sick. Oh yeah, that's right. I actually wanted to go to the 360 Cinema Dome, which has been around for a long time. But I think people may not have. Ah yeah, all roads lead to Harvest. Is that not what's happening? All right, darling, we crashed mercilessly. Can you hear me?
Oh, my mic was off.
Everybody crashed. I put this in the YouTube that I want to wrap it at the 360 Dome, which I think is this is made by Linden Lab. And then next week I want to tell people that I want to go to very basic user-created experiences because it's an important message that this is something not only for that you shouldn't feel discouraged.
I pointed out before, I think I pointed out to other people, it's kind of like creating furniture or something, like a wood maker creating furniture, how it feels to create something.
Yeah, but you know, my worry is, and I think it's legitimate because you know, with Prims and with collaborative in-world building, Second Life has been revolutionary. And my worry is that with that people get discouraged. And I tell this story all the time. I was convinced before I had children, I was convinced that the reason why some people are just not pursuing artistic endeavors, you know, not professionally, but just like having fun with it, woodworking or music or whatever, is because they're being discouraged by society and such.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, wait, but it's only one part of the puzzle. The other one, what I realized is, when my son was in 3rd grade, a lot of the kids stopped drawing. If you go to an elementary school and you look at what kids draw in 2nd grade or 1st grade, it's amazing. Why? They're not self-conscious about it at all. You know the reason why a lot of kids in my son's class stopped drawing in 3rd grade? Why? Very simple. A girl came in and she was very good at realistic drawing. She was advanced and she was able to draw birds, animals in a very realistic manner. And all of a sudden, all the other kids felt, oh my God, I'm really not good, and they gave up. So, in other words, it's not, at that stage, it was not society, it was not the mean teacher who said, oh, you're bad. No, it was them basically becoming they became self-aware and they labeled themselves. So this is what I'm saying. I don't have a solution for this. This is a problem of growing up. This is a problem of, you know, coming to grips with who I am and what is the purpose of art. And now, of course, then compounded by that sort of self-internalized labeling comes society and tells you, well, you're never going to be as good as this other guy. And so I was just expressing before you came in, Galen, to Darling, that my worry is with the emphasis, also with me, with the Atlas hopping, we're looking at sort of polished experience. And next week I want to go exclusively to places that we've done in the beginning, where people who have no knowledge of Blender or other high-end hobby, exactly, because I feel people right now I hear a lot of stuff in Second Life, people are very discouraged. They say, oh, it's not for me. It's just like I'm now back to the sort of like gazing at cool things that I will never be able to accomplish.
You know, I think I can speak to a parallel of that in scripting. My own feeling is that when I started, there were a bunch of talented programmers who were dabbling in scripting, and a bunch of them I have effectively dropped out of Sansar so far, and I sometimes wonder if a little bit of it is that I don't know, stolen some of the thunder with my own work. I worry about that. I actually don't want to discourage
Galen, you are responsible. Now,
no, Galen,
no,
I killed them. I killed them.
No, but one thing, and then Ricardo's, please, because you were next, and you know we should be raising our hands like in a school. I think that I want to say one thing, because Galen, my story also along the lines. I don't fault the girl who was advanced coming in there. It's not her fault. It's just the dynamic that happens. You know, Pookie Amsterdam, prominent Second Lifer, once told me this hilarious story. She had a friend of her come to New York City and she wanted to make it in acting, and she didn't make it. And then Pookie said, "Why are you so, you know, depressed about not making it?" And she says, "Well, it's just unfair. The others were so good. That's unfair to me." So that's ridiculous. That's not what I mean. Like, people who are gifted and talented are not. I'm not suggesting that they should do an intentionally crappy job to make other people feel better. We need other ways to encourage or rather not discourage people to get on the table. And I think the key is to say, you know, you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this to win the first prize. Right?
That's what I want to say.
Exactly, Ricardo. I think the prize, you know, focus on like awards and accomplishments is the problem. That's the main problem. Ricardo, you were saying?
Let's say it this way. Sansar is what you make from it yourself. That's the same with Second Life. You have good sims and professional sims.
Yeah. And you know what?
My experience is not so good as Harvest, but it's still good.
But I love your experience. You know why I love it? because it I can go there and I know it's made by you. That's why I love it. I love your experience way more than anything that Sansar Studios made. And why? Because I have a personal connection to you. I'm not going in there and go like, Ricardos, these textures, come on. They are not, you know, it's like, and trust me, I grew up in the music field, and I have friends to this day, all they talk of, they listen to a song, they go, yeah, they recorded this with a Neumann replica microphone, you know, and then they ran it through this plug-in, and, you know, they should have taken this other microphone. They're like, shut up. Why don't you just listen to the song? Again, I mean, this is a slightly, I'm mixing a little bit mixed metaphors here, but anyway, I'll shut up.
Do you mind if I add something into it?
Oh, please. Make me shut up.
Okay. Okay. There's a echo of me, and I don't know where it's coming from. But, okay. Oh, it's probably the YouTube stream. Oh, God. I found it.
Yes.
Don't listen to the YouTube stream.
There was a person in High Fidelity that just amazed me with his abilities, right? And that's why I brought up Piper before. He came to me. He came to me and helped me with a problem that I was having in High Fidelity, bringing in textures, because I couldn't get it to work properly. But I don't look at that relationship the same way. I look up to him, and I think the big difference is how he approached me and helped me out, right?
Yeah.
How he approached me was one, he's as a peer, right? He came over and helped me in a way that didn't make me feel ashamed of not being at his level.
Yeah, that's key.
Right.
And I still look up to him to this day as an excellent, and there are people in there that I look up to. It doesn't make, there's nothing, it adds to the experience. Nobody's going to be the same level, nobody. But it adds to the experience to get together and learn and get better at our craft.
Now kudos and the hat, but the hat is off to this individual, but nobody, and not everybody is like that. I want to say one quick thing, that the societal aspect of it, because I was just talking about music, what drives me crazy is, now even in classical music, it's become very prevalent for promotional purposes, in the bio of the violinist or the pianist, to kind of say, oh, at 4 years of age he won award XYZ. I understand for marketing purposes it is smart to do that because that's what people respond to. But this is setting expectations that are really detrimental to the development of other aspiring artists, or especially musicians in that case. Okay? So, when I
just want to interrupt to say goodbye. It's nice to meet everybody.
I know Ryan is all like, oh, these stupid discussions. I gotta get out of here.
No, I'm starving. I need to go get lunch.
Okay,
have a good day.
Ryan, bye. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye, Ryan.
Last word, and then I'll shut up. I swear. I think we should go to Ricardo's. We should go to Little Holland. I think that would be fun.
Wait for next week, but.
Shall we wait till next week?
You say you want to show people things that made by a hobbyist.
No, I want to go there and then nitpick and complain about stuff. No.
Drax,
oh my.
Yeah.
Do you follow the conversation on the live stream? Because Daisy is having problems logging in.
Oh, that's
to,
right.
114.
Yeah, she never can get in here. Okay, let's go to Ricardo's. I put Ricardo's in here.
Okay.
So this is
and tell her that we are going there.
Okay, I put it in. Okay, let's put that into the chat.
That's interesting. Now I know the request on the forum. There's not my experience in VR.
What?
And there's no create button in VR in the Atlas. And the my experience button they removed, so I don't see my own experiences. Now I understand the request on the forum.
Exactly. I've thought that same thing. You got to go to create, you don't have the My Experiences tab anymore.
All right, see you.
Wow, I hope that the YouTube folks see this in a better resolution than I see it here. It's hopefully only on my end. Ah, it's so peaceful here. Ricardos, this is so wonderful and peaceful here. Not like this constant music barrage.
And there are a few new things.
Oh, it's a theory. Looking nice.
Use the beach ball. That's a crashy one.
Yep. You crashed when you touched the beach ball. I noticed that. Yes, you go bye-bye. Don't touch the beach ball.
Now I can check my.
Oh, you have to tell us the secret of your script there. You know, how do you write a script that crashes when you touch it?
I don't think we want to
know.
know.
I want to know.
Enable physics.
There's the secret, enable physics.
So this is wonderful. This is Ricardo's little world, and he's cleaning the windows.
Problem is there's no glass.
Oh, you gave it away. You have to pretend to see, and here you can have little storefronts. I love it, Ricardos. You're laying the groundwork, the foundation. You're laying the foundation. But I want... See, now we're competing because I want to rent to people. But yours are much better because you have a 2-car garage.
But I have no plans for renting.
This is wonderful, but I have plans to rent. I want to rent here.
But I have a phone booth.
Have you thought about making the phone booth to a teleport station?
That were the first idea.
Yeah.
If you go to the phone booth...
Yeah.
Wait, let me... Come on. Run.
So when we go to the phone booth?
You can walk in, but nothing happens. I kept that was the first plan to use it possible for teleporter. Oops, careful.
Oh, I can't open the door. Uh-oh, my controller's battery is low. Oh, come on. What the hell?
I need to say mine is back to 2, those lines too.
We are facing a new set of problems.
Ridiculous.
Oh, what's this for nice?
This technology will never succeed.
Of course, cell phones took over a long time ago.
How do I get... See, but now I'm stuck in the Oculus view. I can't get out. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna go to desktop. Here we go.
Are you wearing a violet right now?
Oh.
What?
What was this?
Nexilon, you were talking strange.
She was scrambled.
Are you an alien? Nexilon, are you an alien?
Well, eventually it will be.
What planet are you from?
Very well.
Oh my god.
What planet I'm from?
Yes. What? Are you coming through the phone booth? Is the phone booth connected to the planet where you're from? No, Nexilon, I'm sorry, but you sound to us in a very interesting garbled fashion.
And it is recorded. This is...
Look at this.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
It's wild, Galen, right? I mean,
if you want to hear it, turn on the YouTube stream and talk for a few seconds and then listen in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Excellent.
Don't apologize.
Okay, no, don't apologize. Just tell us a little bit about how did your day go so far?
I literally just full of crap, but I went on YouTube right now and I saw that you're live.
Okay, hold on, Excellent. Let me translate. You are you saying you took your little interstellar vehicle from planet Uxkugux to planet Axmagax, and on the way you were shot by a Korgulan battleship? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
See, I knew it. I speak fluent alienish.
Great. That's great.
Oh my goodness.
We'll send you the YouTube stream later. It's very funny. Sorry, we're not laughing at you. We're... Oh, Amr just crashed? Sorry?
You
I cannot understand you.
I
Did you understand
think
it?
she said, do you have a Vive?
Oh, yes I do, but I'm not using it currently.
You have a dead battery.
Do they have Vives on your planet?
Maybe.
I can hear it, maybe.
Let me ask you, wonderful Nexolin alien, on your planet, do they have wireless HMDs already?
You know it.
I think she comes from the future. I think the telephone booth connects us to the future. I'm sorry, I'm reverting back to a 5-year-old.
Don't laugh at the Time Lord.
Ricardus, what are your plans with this wonderful Holland? Tell us.
The plans is to make it bigger.
But what is going into the building? So you have a...
I don't know. No. That's just like Second Life. Someday you know what's going there.
Yep. The places themselves will tell you.
This place can be maybe for people to meet.
You know, I have a great idea. Daisy Gator could put into one of those houses an exhibit of her writing. Daisy is a wonderful science fiction author. And so people could work together and make places where community happens.
But we first need some cooperative editing.
Yeah, that's the big problem. Alien could do... Sorry.
It's going to happen with too many microphones.
The alien is doing strange things.
God.
Somebody's mic is open.
I'm pretty sure it's the alien's mic.
It's this person.
Oh, she's brushing the teeth. She's brushing Daisy's teeth.
Okay.
Excellent, this is your mic.
The feedback seems to happen more when there are too many mics open.
Yeah.
What, the garbling?
Keep them out of clothes.
No, this is...
Not the garbling. The garbling is from a synthesizer.
I can hear myself.
Yeah, Nexcellent's mic is open.
Yep.
How do you turn it off?
Should be a mute button on the right. Oh, you're using VR mode. One of the buttons brings up a little toolbar across the top for you, and on that toolbar you should see a button to mute the microphone.
Okay, I gotta get over here. The YouTube people are going crazy. I'm going to look at this wonderful giraffe. Oh.
It's made by Silas.
Oh, and here's the club. Ricardos? Maybe
Yes.
next time we can have a little stand-up comedy. I can prepare a few minutes of stand-up comedy for here.
Yeah, but then I need to take off. Oh, that you have not seen. That's new too. In Music Bar.
Nice.
Oh. Just let me know next time. Then I need to turn the music off before we do it.
You know what you need? You need a microphone that stands on the... Oh god, we have the feedback. Nexion, you gotta turn on that mic. Oh crap. Oh.
You know you can mute them, right?
Yeah, but then I can't hear them when they want to speak to me.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, you say a standing microphone.
A standing microphone, yeah. And then we could do some... Let's wrap up the show and tell the people that if they want to come next week, we can do a stand-up comedy bit like everybody tells everybody has 3 minutes that they have to prepare. Okay, Galen, we let's wait until people come out here. So here's the idea for next week. We're going to start with a little stand-up comedy on Ricardo's stage. Everybody prepares a couple of minutes.
Not me, because I'm not good in that. I don't know anything to...
You're the club owner. You don't have to do it.
Do I sound better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, much better.
Oh, you sound good. Sorry, that was so funny.
I think I was using my bad mic.
Yeah, but
I think I was using my bad microphone.
I thought you had a wacky synthesizer.
Yep.
Well, okay then. I don't know if you guys can understand me.
Yeah, but it was funnier. It was funnier before.
Completely different.
Before it sounded like this.
Okay.
We should do that next time around.
Hello.
Everyone uses the Garbo filter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a bad cough. I have to wrap up the program. Thank you for coming. And next week, I want to do a little... If anybody who wants to join, we can do a little stand-up comedy or just a storytelling thing. Everybody has 3 minutes here on Ricardo's stage. That's how we're going to start. We're going to meet at Harvest and we're going to come here. And everybody has 3 minutes to tell a story or tell some jokes. And everybody else is quiet, including myself. And then we clap. And we'll bring a lot of people here. I'll try to...
That's a problem, clapping VR.
I honestly can't see doing that.
But then, Galen, you can tell a story.
I much prefer to interrupt other people talking.
Maybe.
More fun.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're a
Can
troll.
I do that? Can I interrupt whoever's talking instead?
You're a heckler. A heckler gets punched in the nose.
well, Galen, you know you can throw an exception. How about that?
There you go. I like
throw
that.
an exception.
Daisy, are you in for next week, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Just let me know.
Think about it. You can tell a story, or you... Oh, we got that feedback again. Oh my god. Okay, one quick...
Nexuland,
that's not me. That's not me.
Use microphones.
Okay, prerequisite is that we use headsets. No speakers. Who is that?
I will use my headset.
See, it's not me.
Yeah. Daisy, is that you?
Daisy, is your mic open? Ah, thanks.
Mine's?
I don't know. I can't really tell what's going on. What's going on at the minute? Everyone's talking at once. I'm getting lots of.
Yeah, it was Daisy.
Yeah, I thought...
Daisy's feedback.
Huh.
Daisy, you create enormous feedback.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's me, is it? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
It shouldn't be me, should it? I've got my headset on.
But it's coming through the speakers.
It's a bug. It's a bug in Sensor. Just mute the microphone if you're not talking.
Yeah, but it shouldn't
really
be.
Sucks.
No, it's not only her. It's also Nexalin also. But why is that?
It's me too.
That can only come if you bring this out through the speakers.
You know, I'll say that that was one thing I did notice about VR chat was their audio is really solid.
Really?
Yeah, I was in groups of large numbers of people, and everybody just had their microphones open, and there wasn't feedback.
Well, then they have a suppression thing going. They have a ducking gate or whatever.
I think that's because it's running off of the Unity engine right now.
Yes, it's running off of Unity. That's right.
Yeah, but Sansar is trying to accomplish something much more complex with audio and all that. So you know that the long-term
as far
goal.
as the audio goes, it's not going so great.
Oh, I see, but that's where I would completely disagree because it's like comparing. I don't know. I haven't been in VR for a long time, but
I should say the voice chat. The voice chat is.
It sounds to me like comparing a guy who plays acoustic guitar with a big band, and the big band is struggling, but it's a much more complex piece of music. You're like, yeah, the guy with the guitar sounds solid. Well, yeah, it's one guitar. So if you mic that one guitar, it's easy. The big band, to mic that is a lot more complex. I doubt. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I doubt that VR chat has audio occlusion, for example, to the complexity that we can have here, or what we can do with spatial audio.
I believe I've experienced audio occlusion in one place, but I could be misremembering. But you make a good point. They're doing additional audio processing, but I would argue that in this case, they've got a lot of work to do to nail down the voice chat. But I think within a few months they'll get it nailed down.
All they need to do is to have a couple of gates on the voice and have an automatic, as Torley was saying, they're already working on that. The other foundation in its complexity, I'm actually going to log into VR chat real quick just to see, but yeah, it's just a it's a completely different level of.
Yeah, I think they'll get it ironed out, but. Yeah, I mean,
the sound has to be fixed, and we also hopefully eventually they're still working on that avatar thing, because that's what I would want to upload is my character that I made inside of ZBrush, my alien character, and then I can start getting that in here with like some particles, and maybe eventually they'll even have like an inventory. I just want it to be very similar to how SL is, but you know, more advanced. And allowing me to actually manipulate stuff and do stuff inside VR.
Well, I think I really. Okay, this is going to be part of my stand-up act, but I'm going to give you a little preview. I'm really convinced that Linden Lab understands the secret sauce of VR, and the secret sauce of VR is that there is 5 standard avatars which you cannot modify, very static buildings with very little scripting and really bad audio. Ha ha ha. Sorry. No. Oh god, my comedic career is really kind of not taking off the way I thought it would. But no, but the point is, Nexalin, of course that is coming. That's the secret that will make it successful. There is no way that anything that doesn't let people express themselves through their avatar will survive.
Yeah.
This is what, not that you're saying this, Nexalin,
and that's why I know that Sansar is still beta right now.
We all wanted yesterday.
Just have to implement those things.
Exactly. But what is striking, what is so incredibly frustrating sometimes is when people talk about this is sort of the finished thing. People go like, what? There's like a couple of black guys, couple white guys, 2 women, and it's like you can't even do anything. You can just look at stuff. How lame is that?
I'll have to say though, the experiences that you walk through, that's why people feel it's like more like an art gallery right now, because the experiences you walk through are really beautiful, and that's why I kind of like it so far. But yeah, there just has to be a lot of things that they add to it to make it more like a metaverse.
Go to Galen's Metaverse Machines or his hover park, then you know how it feels to throw up in VR mode against your own television.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that they really should add is being able to see your body when you look down inside of VR, because that's really important, I feel, as well.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
And that's how we're gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap with these very important things. Also, please add that we can look at us in the front. Amr, you have the last word. Where is this all going? Are you happy with this? Where it's going?
I am very happy. Why? Because I start meeting people in Sansar, which is an achievement. And I think Sansar will boom soon. Let's be patient.
Yep.
Let's remember how Second Life were in 2003 when it started. If Sansar is starting now like this, it is a huge leap forward. I'm optimistic.
Exactly. We have to remember where this all starts.
Yep.
Exactly.
Somebody has game show music on in the background. See, this is all they need to add.
This is my mobile reminding me of my medication.
Oh, yeah. It's the anti-Sansar medication. Is it the medication that says you're not allowed to be in Sansar anymore?
And remember, my music off next week.
And remember to spay and neuter your furry.
Okay, well, it's. Oh no! Here's the guy again on YouTube. He says, "Can you play Second Life in live?" What does that even mean? What does that mean? Can you play Second Life in live? Well,
I'd like to see you actually play VR chat, just to see like the stuff that they've been doing inside there as well.
Yeah, I was on Gunter's Universe show a couple years ago, actually.
Yeah, they've done a lot of stuff now with VR chat. It's completely changed. There's now, I think, under 200 people that are always on it, so...
Wow.
It's a whole lot of people there who are just socializing, who aren't really creatives, but that says something about this sort of stickiness, the cultural stickiness of the place.
So people who socialize don't create, Galen. I'm gonna press you. I'm like this terrible like philosophy teacher, and you're like so people who are just telling their
who are only socialized.
But what if people tell, for example, stories like in the olden days? They just let's say they transmit their stories through their own. They're keeping it alive, or they learn from each other by coming up with role playing within just sort of improv or something like that. Or is
I'm sure they're doing all that too. The main point though is right now Sansar and High Fidelity arguably are full primarily of pure creators, and VR chat actually has what I think of primarily as consumers, content consumers.
But you do realize that mostly Second Life is composed of a lot of consumers, though, right?
Oh yeah, mostly.
And that's what makes it such an amazing world, is because then there's that social aspect of it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Boy. I mean, what we're doing right here as creators, we are the early adopters. We're creating stuff that other people will be interested in eventually.
And we are in a circular discussion, and I have the final word because it's my YouTube channel. The distinction between creative class and consumer class, I find, frankly, tiring, and I find it incredibly,
I get it.
incredibly reductive, and that kind of binary thinking actually leads to all sorts of bad things. And I encourage you to either read Infinite Jest or get the audiobook if you're too lazy to read. I know I'm an elitist. I do read on paper big, thick books, and I don't watch television, and I look down on people who watch television. No, I don't. But if people call me an elitist just because I enjoy big books and conversations and trying to kind of kill the status quo about thinking in these binary things, call me an elitist, then so be it. Philip Rosedale in 2006 said in a CNN interview he wants people to realize that everybody is creative. Everybody has a creative bone and muscle, and this muscle needs to be exercised. Capitalism has succeeded in making us think in these divisions, that there is sort of a top-down approach, that there are people who create and then there are people who consume. The fact that in the news we talk about consumers rather than residents is infantilizing to me. It is derogatory. It's looking down on people when you call them a consumer, because all they do is you push stuff down to them and then they kind of passively take it in, while you're the active sort of shaper of worlds. That to me is offensive, actually. I'm not calling you guys offensive. I'm abstracting it to the whole discussion that's happening in society.
I'd love to debate you on this point, but I know you need to cut off the show.
We'll totally do a one-on-one podcast show. I guarantee you that will be super interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish with this anecdote. My grandparents, from my mother's side, had a big farm in which is now Poland, and after the war they were refugees. They came over to what is now Germany. Blah blah blah. But they had no entertainment. Okay, so what did they do at the end of the day? They made their own entertainment. They learned violin. They learned. My grandmother played drums. They had flutes, and they made music for themselves. It was not outsourced to the creatives, and others were sitting in the venue listening to it and they say, "Oh, here are the people who entertain us." No, they entertained themselves. It's a wonderful tradition of house music. It's a wonderful tradition of reading, of poetry circles, amateur art, and so on and so forth. Now I'm intrigued, Galen. Would you object to? Do you not welcome a world where we don't have those rigid divisions?
Oh, I think you're creating a false dichotomy here, and it's not one that I intend to create.
By the way, I'm not blaming you that you created it. You're just living in a world that is created by that.
Look, if I describe people as consumers, I naturally take for granted that every human being is a consumer. We're all consumers of something. So that's kind of a given. But I'm speaking more about what it is that someone focuses on in life or in Second Life or whatever. Talk to people in Second Life. A lot of them will say, "I just come here to chill." They're still creative. And if nothing else, they craft their own avatars.
Oh, I completely agree. I would actually even say if they furnish their apartment, or if they just mix and match stuff from the marketplace, that's more than some of them ever have the opportunity to do in their sort of work life. I find
if they participate in role play, there's another good example of people being creative. But that's what I'm saying. Something that's ephemeral.
But the thing is, I really see, call me a communist or whatever. I know that Methu does. I don't care. The mundane work life that most people have because they need to survive. I hope that goes away. I think I said this on a previous show. I actually hope that we learn from the fact that we can have machines take over really mundane, demeaning jobs like rearranging items in the shelves at Walmart. I'm not looking down on people who do that, not at all. I'm looking down on a system that makes these people have to do this in order to survive. I think that's really demeaning. I think there's a lot more potential to humanity than stocking freaking shelves at Walmart.
Oh, I love this line of thinking and where you're going. Sorry, somebody's microphone is open. We're getting...
Mic check, mic check. Jesus, who is this? It's that alien the alien who pretends she has a normal voice.
Why am I always being blamed? This
Because
is like.
Yeah, we gotta blame someone.
Go ahead, Daisy. What were you saying?
Well, okay, I'll take the brunt.
Oh wait, Daisy comes. Oh shit, I have Daisy muted. That's why. Fuck. Sorry, Daisy. Start over. I had you
making a really good
from earlier.
point.
Sorry. Start over.
I mean, in order to become a really superb violinist, you really need, or superb at anything, really, you need to dedicate your whole life to it. I mean, you need to spend all day doing it. You can't, go and be a doctor or whatever it is, some useful thing. During the day,
that's a really good
and
point.
then just be a violinist in the evening, because
you can
you'll
never stop
get that
learning.
good at it. And that's
Right,
true
and I
of-
think-
of so many. I mean, that's true of all the arts, really. I mean, it's certainly true of writing. In order to get really good, you just have to write and write and write. I mean, I don't write nearly enough. I'm never really going to get that good, I don't think. If I'm perfectly honest.
And that doesn't stop
I'm
someone from
too
being
lazy.
an amateur.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a sort of a neo-pro, as they call it. I mean, I'm probably never going to, honestly, I'm probably never going to sort of get much beyond that, simply because I don't write enough. But
All right.
people, I mean, most of the people around me at my level, they work really hard. They write a lot, and they write many more stories than I do, and novels, and some of them
This
are probably
is-
going to get very good. Indeed,
You know,
and
parents,
hopefully give up their
parenting-
day job, and then having given up, being able to earn enough to give up their day job, then they can write all day long and get really, really good.
Okay,
And that's
Daisy.
what you need to do in order to really create good art.
I'll jump in
Otherwise,
really
it
quickly.
never gets above the amateur level. That's the problem with it.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. Galen, you can jump in. Daisy, I totally don't disagree with you at all. You are hinting at something that's been called as of late, sort of, I think they call it the 10,000 hour rule or whatever. You just have to put in the work, you just have to put it in, and you have to keep going, and you have to keep grinding at it in order to become really, really good. That is absolutely correct, especially I would actually say that in music and maybe sports, if you call sports an art form, I don't know, is probably more so than in other things, just because of the physical component. In order to become a master violinist or pianist, you have to do these incredibly mundane, terrible exercises every single day just to get the muscle memory going and all this kind of stuff. You're absolutely correct. But the question that we have to ask ourselves is it not worthwhile doing it just because we know we will not be the number one at something? That's what I am getting at. What I said earlier, I think you weren't there at 114 Harvest. I said I think that we all were made to believe an endeavor is only worthwhile if we get the absolute best at it and win the top awards or get acknowledged by the press as the number one in our field. Then otherwise we shouldn't even start it. I think that is the underlying message that society kind of sends out, and that is
No,
To
I-
some degree,
I think
that's true.
I would
think
love
there's a lot
to-
of people. Sorry.
I would love to
Gotta
know
mute
more
the mics,
about.
guys. Gotta mute the mic.
Yeah, Daisy, I think maybe that. Okay. I would love to know more about your upbringing, Drax, because maybe you had a very different childhood than I did. I mean, my parents and the schools that I went to, I really felt like they fostered the idea. The basic message was try it. Try this, try that, try everything. Because you're not going to know if it's going to be to your liking until you try it.
I come from an extremely privileged background where I was encouraged to do anything I wanted at any point in time. Okay, and I'm not talking about myself necessarily. I didn't come to the conclusion because of this privilege. If I had stayed within the realm of where I came from, I would probably have the conviction that, like, okay, if you didn't make it, well, then you were too lazy. Because that's the people where I come from
Yes.
pretty much think. That's the consensus. They try to be nice and understanding, but ultimately what they really believe is, well, you just didn't put in the work. I find that that's why I kind of broke with that, painting with a broad brush, but I kind of broke with my own sort of quote-unquote class where I come from, because I really find that to be incredibly offensive and not taking into account that not everybody has that privilege of having an encouraging and nourishing surrounding. There's people who overcome enormous adversity, and it's actually even counterproductive to pick someone who overcame adversity and say, well, this guy made it, so why do we need schools? This guy's parents are in jail, and he taught himself Greek and 3 other languages while his sister sold crack. So this is getting us into another territory, but marketing people love this stuff. Look at some of the stuff that how they sell, like a young violinist, for example. He played violin at 5 years of age while his father was shooting up heroin, but he didn't care because blah 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 blah. My point is that there are many forces, and Daisy is absolutely correct in it doesn't, it's not these, we have to hold both of these thoughts in the head at the same time. There are societal forces that make us believe a certain reality, but also categorizes us and keeps us from pursuing certain things. And then there are other things that are physical realities, like you have to practice, you have to put in the work, you have to start earlier. But again, I'm going to shut up in a second. By the way, Super Suze is here. She's a teacher. Wonderful. I would love to have her chime in, because Super Suze is on the front lines of this issue in the classroom. She knows more than all of us together, I suppose. But my final thought on this is, let us just think about the purpose of an artistic endeavor, even if it stays in the realm of amateurishness, or even if you just do it for yourself. The healing nature of trying to express yourself through these forms, even if it's really amateurish, if it's music, painting, stories.
It's enriching.
Absolutely. And so I just reject that on the notion. That doesn't mean I encourage, for example, people to upload everything on YouTube. Like I always say, like, just because we can publish stuff, we can self-publish today, doesn't mean we shouldn't learn how to filter ourselves to be
I also find it I find it very rude when people say, "Oh, these people are just lazy, and that's why they don't want to do stuff." You don't know what they might be going. You don't know what they might be going through. They might have some sort of like mental issues, depression, things that they're going through inside of their own head, and that's why to call somebody, "Oh, just flat out right, oh, you're lazy," it's a huge insult to the person.
Nicola, this is a good point, because this is at the heart of why to me it's very demeaning when we say, "Oh, just such and such percentage just like logs on and does some really stupid shit." You don't even have to have any type of mental disorder or be depressed if you come home from a 12-hour grinding, stupid, repetitive workday. We lived in rural California for a long time. You drive by the fields, you see farm workers that work there for minimum wage, migrant farm workers. You think they have the energy after working the fields with the I'm taking an extreme example now, but take any other
they go
mindless.
To sleep.
What you think? I'm gonna log on Sansa and create some wonderful art. No, because you're spent. The workplace is meant to destroy you. Well, now I'm getting really on my communist.
Well,
pedestal
I
here.
think maybe a deeper point worth considering is I guess a related point. It's tempting, and I see a lot of people doing this. It's tempting for people to judge everybody else as, oh, here's somebody who's really interesting and everybody else is boring or stupid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find is generally speaking, if you actually take some time to get to know them, very often those people who seem stupid or boring or whatever are really just quiet, or they don't. They may even be really talkative, but just not with you for whatever reason. And I think more generally, it's easy to underestimate and quickly judge people, but I find just about everybody is pretty interesting.
Daisy, isn't that the subject, or one of the subjects that we discuss in the upcoming documentary? I mean, that's what I learned from.
Remember that?
Remember that? No. I mean, that's what I learned through, frankly. What you said is very true, but that is also, I mean, that happens in the classroom, right? With kids. there's the introvert. Our society is built around extroverts, and I think this is very problematic. Extroverts it's encouraged. Look, who succeeds in the work environment? How are you being coached? How are we coached to behave in in an interview or whatnot? There are certain parameters, and if you look at them as a personality profile, those describe extroverts. Now, if you go higher up in business,
generally, yeah,
a lot of people have argued that in the current business environment, in our current version of capitalism, it basically gives a lot of encourages sociopaths to be at the top. I think there's actually a great BBC documentary which examines the psychological profile of a lot of business leaders, especially in finance, and what is commonly being sort of the clinical definition of a sociopath. It's a lack of empathy and all that stuff.
Business is very different. Business is very different from politics. It attracts fundamentally different people. I mean, Trump is not a politician. That's why a lot of politicians can't stand him, because he is a businessman. He's not really. I don't think he wants to be president. I mean, at all. I think it was a mistake as far as he's concerned. He actually won. I think he just stood for president for the attention or whatever. I don't know why. Just to be a rabble rouser because everyone, just because he's a troll, basically. I think probably he was more horrified than anyone when he won.
Daisy, look, let me ask you specifically: are politicians really so different from business people today? I think it was different.
Oh yeah,
I don't think so.
Business people want money, and politicians want power. That's the main difference. I mean, people don't go into politics to make money. They go into it because they want to change the world. I mean, politics costs, particularly in the United States, politics costs a huge amount of money.
But that's what I'm getting at.
You have to be rich to begin with. You have to raise a huge amount
we probably should dodge this as a huge, deep hole topic.
No, this is what I actually talk about all day.
Or something. You have to go and raise loads of money and be rich in the first place. So it costs money. It doesn't, more than you make it. I mean, obviously you can make it, especially if you become successful.
Okay,
Daisy, get rich off of it. But Daisy, you don't go into it to make money. That's the point.
Daisy,
this is a very rich already.
Anyway.
Daisy, this is a very important point, but don't you think that and let's talk about U.S., it's a little bit different here, but it's similar. In the U.S., you cannot succeed as a politician if you don't raise that money. So you have to raise money.
Yeah, you have to. But that's
I completely agree with your premise, but the current... I got this feedback. My head is exploding. Shit. Daisy, I completely agree with your promise. But in the current situation with no campaign finance regulation, isn't it almost the same thing? Because then what you are pursuing as a politician is what they tell you to pursue.
Oh well, yeah. I mean that's true. The system doesn't work very well. Yeah, I agree that it is difficult that the money does sort of clearly influences, but it's different from saying that politicians are, they're not trying to do what they think is right. I mean, I'm a great believer that politicians are genuinely trying to do what they believe in.
I think you could say the same of most business people too.
In practice, it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, but they don't have any other agenda than making money. I completely agree with you.
I wouldn't agree with that premise.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that premise. I mean, it's not like they're from another planet. They're humans too. They have their own political ideologies, their own goals. They generally think that they're making the world better. And many of them try.
Well, okay, then as a former aspirational student of psychology, I would have to completely disagree, because I would think that if they really believe that, then they're completely delusional and lying to themselves. I really don't believe that any of the current top business people believe that they make the world a better place. I think they're shielding themselves from the reality that they're destroying the world. You can't tell me that the CEO of Nike I'm just going to pick a random company. That the CEO of Nike, who in the Paradise Papers was named as one of the many, many companies who have taken billions of dollars out of the public that they owe to the public through the tax system. Think of the tax system what you will, but the reason why the U.S. infrastructure is crumbling is because big corporations don't pay taxes. Now, the CEO of Nike has signed off on that, so I'm going to just look at this one person, whoever it is, I don't know his name, but he has sort of signed off on taking billions and billions of dollars and putting them into offshore accounts. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is that Nike, and I don't want to single them out, they're not the only ones who are doing that. They're employing slave labor in third world countries to make their stuff incredibly cheap and sell them at incredibly high margins. You cannot tell me that they care about other human beings. It is just incompatible with this business model. I give you a better example because
I guess I would say exactly that, and I would say that this is an oversimplification of the scenario. I don't know Nike's situation precisely, but this is not something that can be talked through in a few minutes. This is really complicated.
It is. In the minutia is complicated. I don't mean to simplify it, but if my primary
but you are making a very simple claim. Your very simple claim is that these people are fundamentally corrupt and evil, and I don't agree.
No, they're not corrupt. If my fiduciary duty is to bring up the stock price within 1 quarter, I'm not corrupt. I'm doing exactly what I'm hired to do. I just find it morally comprehensible. The heart of the matter Galen, is about you misunderstand incentives. You misunderstand me. I'm not calling them evil. I find them morally reprehensible. I don't want to shake their hands. That's my personal thing. What they're doing is completely legal, and that's the problem. That's way bigger problem than somebody who is evil.
But I bet if you sat down with whoever the CEO of Nike is and you talked to him, you would come away from that with the sense that he or she is absolutely convinced that what they're doing is moral, is legitimate, is fair. Yep. I don't think that they look at themselves and say, "Boy, it feels so good to be so bad."
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I think they're delusional. That's why I think in the clinical sense they're sociopaths. Because what they're doing, they're destroying other people's lives. Now,
I would also argue, to Daisy's point, though, or actually to parry Daisy's point here, I don't think politicians are any different. I think that they, too, sincerely believe that they are doing a public good, and despite their intentions, very often they're doing a public ill. I don't think they're that different from business people.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, except that I actually agree more with Drax that business people are generally a bit more evil than politicians. But then that's because I used to work in politics, so probably I would say that. I mean, I don't know anything about business people, so maybe if I'd worked in business, I'd see it the other way around.
I should modify my statement to say that I really don't want to come across that I'm saying like every business person is evil or does morally reprehensible things. That's not what I'm trying to say. As a matter of fact, the climate in business people in business there was actually a connection to being responsible for your workers and all that kind of stuff to a certain extent. That has completely changed in the 70s and the 80s, and you can look at the history. And again, this is a complex subject which I read a lot about because I was fascinated when I came to America. Why is America so different from Germany, for example? Because post-war Germany was arguably created by the Americans, okay, through the Marshall Plan. It's very interesting. And I grew up in a society that valued public schools and all this kind of stuff. Now I come to America and go like, what the hell is going on here? So I'm not saying that every business person is a selfish sociopath. What I'm saying, the system that we have right now with multinational corporations, the CEO is in a position where they have to act a certain way, which is against a nation's interest. So, for example, or
else they're out of a job. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a problem. But the bigger problem is in order to maximize those profits, they have to literally, I'm not calling them murderers, but human life is completely secondary. In Salinas, in the Salinas Valley where we lived and where the real harvest is, 114 harvest, every summer, every season, harvest season, I don't know, 100, 200 migrant farm workers die. Why do they die? Well, because of overheating, because they don't have proper, in the Central Valley probably more die. I'm just picking Salinas because I lived there. We reported on this almost on a daily basis. Now, why do they die? Okay, they're overheating. They have no proper housing there, and it's just getting too hot and stuff like that. So you go like, okay, but why isn't Tanamura and Antler and some of these big multinational corporations that basically monopolies in their respective fields, why don't they create better housing? Well, why? Because they don't care. They don't care because they get away with it. They get away with a child that doesn't do their homework and doesn't get reprimanded. The Tanamura and Antlers and these other companies, they look at it like, okay, if 50 farm workers die, there are 200 more farm workers. They're standing in line. They want to take that job. Who cares? All we care about is to get the harvest going, and so we can sell that stuff. This is maybe an extreme example of the business climate that we have, or in which they feel they have to compete in. But that's what I mean by, yeah. I find it. I do find it evil. Evil is a word. I don't like that word evil. I think it's morally reprehensible. I like to use that term, but it's completely legal.
Can I interject and put an alternative spin on some of this?
Sure.
Okay, so we would look at Nike setting up basically sweatshops in other countries. Mm-hmm. Many of these countries, literally, they had children digging through rocks, breaking rocks and stuff. Terrible, terrible jobs for absolutely nothing. Back-breaking, horrible labor. The labor practices in some of these countries were horrible. Actually, many of the Nike plants that you're talking about pay way more than the average income for some of these families.
Very often they have much higher safety standards and other standards as well. It's just we try to compare them against ours.
Exactly. You're basing their standards against ours.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I got to cut you off because I got to go. I know which direction this is going. And this is what marketing people are paid a lot of money to push out this narrative that they are doing actually really sort of like developmental work, which should be applauded. That's complete baloney. That is such baloney.
I agree with it.
Such baloney. Do you know about... I'm sorry, I gotta calm down because this is factually. Of course, you are correct.
There are a lot of economists who have studied this extensively. That this isn't just coming out of nowhere or just marketing BS.
Mm-hmm.